how much is it if you can just make me 6 cupcakes, 8 cupcakes? So we look for a nice little box. Doesn't cost much. And that's why I say, thank you, Lani. Put all the cupcakes inside. And then on their birthday, you're receiving cupcakes. So it doesn't cost much, but you will never measure the excitement of that child receiving those cupcakes. Yeah, those are the little things to do and remember over the year. Because if not, you go through your busy year with no regards to your family, no attention given to your children. And like what I said, well justified because you're busy with work and they do understand. But I believe now it's the time. Maybe for me, I'm getting more involved and more engaged because I'm not getting any younger, I'm getting older. And not only that, I'm seeing my grandchildren, they are growing up so fast. And I'm beginning to feel, boy, I'm going to lose these children very soon because they have a lives to live. I will not be able to hold on to them for the rest of their lives. They need to live on, move on with their lives. And I need to find the closure that I have nurtured, looked after them, counseled, trained them to this far. And I must teach myself that there is a time for me to let them go. And those are the processes that I'm doing now. And I'm trying to think, okay, have I done this with this child? Have I done this with that? So I'm calling Joshua, have we done this? What about this? No, you haven't done that. No, you haven't even told me that. So I'm beginning to raise with time to try and supplement to make sure what I had desired for them to reach that age and the knowledge, the wisdom, the planning, the things that they must have with them, that I have to achieve it with them. More so now for Joshua, my eldest one, because he will be living, with Visha, moving on with his life, on his studies. And that I still need to come to terms with it. Because Joshua, from the time he was born, he basically was my child. He stayed home, raised at home. He's never slept in his parents' home. And he grew up like my own son, other than my grandson. And I have only one son. So he's so close to my children. And sometimes when he's talking to his uncle, or calling out, Elijah, instead that's your uncle. You have to say Uncle Elijah. Because they grew up together, they look at each other like brother, and then he looks at himself like he's a little brother to his aunties. And sometimes when you look at them, it's just like he's one of them. So that's Joshua. And now I'm beginning to feel all this while, since birth, he's been with me for the last 19 years, now turning 20 on Tuesday, on the 28th, I'm beginning to feel the pinch, like when he goes, I'm so used to the fact that he's always home, or I walk out from my bedroom and the first thing that I do, because his bedroom is directly opposite mine, and that's where him and his friends sleep. Every time I walk out from the bedroom, unconsciously, I'll just peep in, to their room. I peep into their room and I'll just look at him. If I know that he hasn't, woken up to go for gym in the morning, then I will come. Joshua, remember, are you going for gym? And that becomes normal. Now I'm beginning to think, I'll be doing that unconsciously, not knowing that he's no longer there. And when you do something, then it becomes part of your life, year in, year out, day in, day out. Then it becomes a habit. And those are the things that I'm beginning to try and teach myself that one time I will not be doing that. So I'm concentrating on my other two that are here with me, year 13 and year 12. And we've had fun. Like after this program, like last Saturday, we really sat and had good fun. Talk about nearly everything and anything. Future job, what it's, to come. The kind of earning that they're looking at. The practicality. Because one of them is pure science. And I said, and he loves engineering. And he said, no, I can do that, or I can do that, or I can go for pilot training. And, and then I look at him and I said, okay, I know you love to do that, you love to do that because of the subjects you're taking. But you have to be practical. We don't have the money to send you straight there. We don't have the money to send you, but you can have faith. But look at it in the most practical way, which means you don't really need to go out and achieve all these things. You can look for a job, do your job, and on the side, you can still do this training. There's a lot of ways for you to reach the same destination, but different roads, different ways. And I really enjoyed those quality time, just sitting, talking about their future, what they desire, and little things. Because I love my grandchildren to be open with me. I love my children to be open with me. I don't like them hiding things. I don't want them to feel, shall I tell Nana? Or I'm scared to tell Nana. Or shall I tell Mom? I'm scared to tell Mom. I try as much as possible to, open up. Regardless whether it's good or whether it's bad, I'll try and have a listening ear just to listen to them. And now sometimes when I'm listening, you're fuming, getting angry, and I need to remind myself, okay, at least she's coming to tell you, or at least, he's telling you exactly as it is. So I want them to feel free to come and tell me, not to hide anything, because from there, they will know if they are in trouble, they can easily come and tell me, and I'll find a way to fix them. And when that happens, then it comes with all the lectures and everything that comes with it. So yeah, those are the little things I do. And I may be sharing today and you'll find it relatable or how for you to handle. I received a message I was actually reading this message last night. I didn't realize it was sent straight after the family table talk last Saturday. And I know you're listening in, Auntie Atilete. And when I just read your message last night. When I was reading her message, which was sent after the family table talk last Saturday, she mentioned about her daughter, who also sat for year 13. And she said they know her capability, the marks that she should get. And not bad. She scored well, over the 300 out of 400. But she said, I was not happy with the marks she scored. And after listening to the family table talk last week, it made me, realize, appreciate, and relook at it in a different way. And, there may be others, like what we said on Sunday, that we may not be happy. I was not, the marks I see on my grandson is not the marks that he's capable of. And the first thing, for me, my first assessment, I just assess, because I know his capability, but I quickly assess in my mind his year 2024. What was he doing? His commitment to the rugby and everything else that he was doing, for me to justify, justify the marks that I'm looking at because of all other things, that happens in his life. And this is one thing that I've always reminded my grandchildren. My grandchildren goes to a all-boys school. And I believe all Fijian boys, they love rugby. They love rugby. And sometimes you look at it like crazy. Maybe because I'm not a rugby lover, I don't go out of my way to watch rugby. I don't even know the rules of the rugby. All I know is like the points.
Yeah, it's not only rugby, it's the sports.
Yeah,
it's a spirit of sports.
Yes, but I'm talking about rugby because of the grandchildren at home. I'm talking about rugby because I see how much it really, like they just committed to rugby. They can forego. It's like when they're looking at their rugby program and they tell me, Nana, are we supposed to go for this thing? Say if we have an event in the Western Division, are we all supposed to be going? And I know where their question is coming from. And because indirectly they're trying to tell me, if we have to go for that thing, we'll miss this thing. And I said, okay, anything is happening. Yeah, we're having rugby. We are playing against, and we might camp. So all those things start coming. So, and I know they can go out of their way, the two of them. The other one is not really a rugby player. He loves soccer. He started off with basketball, and I'm pushing him towards swimming. He's not a rugby. But the two that I had was really rugby crazy. And one thing that I see I'm sharing this because you can relate to it. One thing I see with Joshua, because he's the eldest of them, he can balance. He balances. I don't see the effect of his rugby. I see it a little bit. I begin to remind him, remember, don't allow that to take away your focus on your schoolwork. And at the end of your school year, you have nothing to show yourself for or to take it to the next level. It's your marks. So you need to remember your marks. Rugby is good, or whatever that you're doing is good. I don't, don't get me wrong. I understand your love for it, but I don't want that to take away what you can achieve. If I know, then this is what I always tell my grandsons. If you know, and I know that this rugby that you're going to can bring food on your table, can pay your bills like a good professional rugby, and if you push yourself, you would be able to get that, then I will let you go. Good. You go through that because I'm sure you can be signed up somewhere. But I'm looking at your rugby. It's not like that competition good rugby right there. It's like I love rugby to play rugby, average out there. So it's nothing too exclusive that people will come, which I look and I say no. The attention and the commitment that you give into this thing, if it's going to take you to that level and that pays out for himself, then I'm good. But if you have to have that, it's just the game, as and when out of leisure you want to play because you love rugby, then it's not something that you're going to commit to that's going to be buying your bread or paying your bills. This is the way. So you have to do academics. It doesn't matter about rugby. Then rugby becomes like on the side. And those are the things that I tell my grandchildren. And also, every school, they'll push everybody to play, whatever it is, because it's the name of the school. So they will support whatever body. It's either rugby or athletics, because at the end of the day, it's the name of the school. You cheer, it's the name of the school. Whatever you do, it's the name of the school. And I was telling them, say like when you have under 18 and you come back with a cup. When you come back with a cup and the school, everybody remembered, oh, it was this year that they win. And after that school year, and you look at your marks, no one will ever remember when you're taking around your marks to apply here or one entry here. How do you explain your marks? And for you to say, I got that marks because I was playing rugby, or I committed so much to rugby. The school has taken their credit because you're part of something that happens. But you need to look within yourself and prioritize your academics, because at the end of the year, everybody take their own share, but you have to look at what is your share. What is the thing that you're working out with? And I'm glad. Sometimes they don't really accept the things that I explain to them, but I'm beginning to see now, and more so now when the results have come out. So I show it back to him, and I say, okay, this is exactly what Nana was telling you. And this mark will be with you for the whole lifetime of your life. And as you grow up, wherever you go, these marks will never change. It defines you. But nobody will ever look at this mark and say, no, because he was busy playing rugby and he wasn't studying as much. No, no one will ever ask that. They'll just look at your marks and they look at you. That is who you are. So those are the little, chats we have at home. And I believe those are the little things that we can allow them to focus. We can help them because they're children.
Because they are our children,
Yeah.
it is our duty to share with them the whole truth. Because rugby is something like a manly, it's the thing. Everybody loves rugby, anybody from Fiji. They will know, even overseas they know that we are Fijians, we love our rugby. But if we look at the rugby, sometimes it take away the concentration that we're supposed to do in our academic achievement. And with our academic achievement, say if 40 in one class, it'll be more than half people, because of their academic achievement, they'll hold position in companies and also in the government, they'll do well. But in that same room, maybe only one or even none, the possibility of somebody to sign up a contract. So something that we need to evaluate, and it's not easy. It's not easy because it's something that we brought up with, even in our home. The rugby is still, not even me. If I walk past and there's a game walking on, they playing a game, I'll stand and watch. Because something that is in us, especially for men, and, our young people, we have the Flying Fijians, the Nrua, and we have some super rugby competition going on, and the seven-a-side. All these things attracts our young people. It's for us parents that we must lay down the rule, and we must be very strict. Our commitment, we're really blessed with Elijah. When he came through Education International, I know he loves rugby, and he's a good rugby player.
I mean, up until today, I believe sometimes I could read between the lines that he hasn't forgiven me. Because if I say, okay, look for the school for Why don't we try? No, 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 no. I want them to go to the normal school. Indirectly, he's trying to tell me I missed out on a lot of things to the schools you send me to, because he missed out on rugby. He missed out on the normal things that children does, and I think sometimes he still blame me for that. Because of the kind of school that I send him to. And now when we're talking about his children, talking about other things, he said, no, don't send him there. Just tell them to go to because if not, there's no rugby with them. There's no, when he's saying that, and I realized myself, man, I took my only son to this school, and he didn't have the opportunity to really play rugby like my grandsons are doing now. And sorry, Elijah, but I think it was for your good. But I know you will forgive me. And yeah, those are the things, that you talk about.
It's something in you. If you listen, they're talking, they're discussing. They know they have their team. They hero this one. All of those things. That means it's in them. So it's the duty of the parents to for their future. For their future, they need to know. Out there, the world is very cruel. Out there, the world is demanding. Because academic, with your, as you said, when you finish with your year 13. And you go around year 12, year 13, the marks that you have, it will never change. And those marks
will define you
and opens the door to a brighter future. Unless if you are really, really good with your rugby.
But I see a lot of children, they balance it well. It really depends on how you balance it. I could say, like for Joshua, he really balanced it. Sometimes he forgets. And then just a little reminder, you come to the parents' interview, so my daughter always go with him, and she'll come back and she would say, Master Reddy said they need to, it's affecting his, so all those little reminders from the teachers also help us to be alert that these things, and that's one thing that I really, and thank you, Joshua, for being who you are. That's one thing that I really am grateful and appreciate Joshua's life. He listens, he's teachable. And he listens to the counsel. He listens to how we explain things. And sometimes he doesn't like the things that he's hearing, but I see he tries and push himself to just to do it because I'm saying it. And looking back over the years for year 12 and year 13, one thing that I've seen with him on how he make that balance. He does make the balance. When he's training the rugby and when he's convicted, when he drop in his position, I see, because I always tell him, push yourself to be within the 10 down. If you know you're out of the 10, then you know you are slacking off in some of the things you do. And you should know now your capability. When you go to year 9, it's different because we are different, with all different children coming in from different school. Year 10, because you're going with the same crowd. But when you go to year 11, because of the choices of subject, then you mix with totally different set of people. And that's a set of people you will be with from year 11, year 12, year 13, because of either your arts, your pure science, or your tech science, or agri-science, or your commerce. So whichever way you're going to go, look around you. Those are the friends. Those are the people that will be with you because you've chosen that. So you should gauge on the very midterm, the very first exam, you gauge yourself. Do your best, gauge yourself. How do you rate? How do you stand within this class size? If your class size is 40, then you say to yourself, okay, I need to challenge myself to be 20 down because I see your capability. So, and that's how, we discuss a lot of things. And one thing that I really appreciate, he listens. And from year 9, it was different. Year 10, it was different. Year 11. When it comes to year 11, and I said, year 11 is a determining point for you. You should know, gauge where you are at. So started off from, 15, go. And by the year 12, he was on the 10 down. And, year 13. So, and I always remind him, when you know you're going out of this grid, then you need to ask yourself what happened. There may be some things you're not doing, or there may be some things you're not balancing it well. And he stand committed to that until the day he left his school. And thank you once again, Joshua, for listening to the counsel. And everything, you try your best to achieve, to listen, and also to make it happen. And your children or your grandchildren, they are different. You have some. For me, I have some like that. Even for my children, they are different, and I will not be able to, to compare them. So if I'm talking to one, I'll say, okay, I'm dealing with this one here, dealing with that. So I will never compare them. But if I look at something, all the years after I see the result, then that's when I told the other one, the other brother, and said, okay, look at this and look at Joshua. Joshua is average. He sits his bottom there to study up until the morning. He'll come, rest after devotion, sleep, wake up again at 12 o'clock. And whenever I wake up again at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock to come, I see him sitting there studying. And I will tell him, okay, enough. You're okay. And then he said, no, I'm okay because I really slept well last night. So I'm good, and I'm good. And that's the way it is. And he worked hard to be able to get that. So not until I see the result is now I'm using that together, but I will never compare them. I will never talk to one and say, can't you be? Can't you be? So never compare your children because, and never compare your grandchildren. They are totally different. And just address them individually so they can get convicted individually to be the better version of themselves other than getting convicted to push themselves to be the same as somebody else. No, they are uniquely made for who they are. You just need to understand them and know how to deal with them. Yeah, and those are the things of lives that we plan. So apart from planning all those things, planning your life, planning everything, so plan your finances as well. Plan your finances, whatever that you're getting for, I usually get on your payroll every week or fortnightly or monthly, then you plan how much can you put out of this, take out of this money to be written down on your expense, but it's your saving. And what can you cut or reduce? What can you, do to improve, to reduce your expenses? It's the usage of food at home, the wisdom. Na kena marori so na kaya ko kila rini balaw na kena bula, or the time you off the lights. If you have aircon at home, the time you off the aircon. If you have fan, the time you off the fan. All those things. We may say to you, to ourselves, oh, it's okay, we can afford it. We have that money. But it's amazing. When you do all those little change, the little money that can be saved, that can go to something else. So those are the little things that you need to look at. Your finances, your family, your life, your plan, and also your health. When was the last time you visited the doctor? When was the last time you've had a medical check? So those are the questions you ask yourself. Don't wait until you get sick. Don't wait until the doctor tells you that you cannot be fixed. Don't wait until the doctor tells you, or you've reached stage 4 of cancer, or you've reached this stage of diabetes. We need to ampute your leg or ampute or whatever because you've reached the extreme because it wasn't detected in the early stages. And sometimes we get scared to be told of the early stages, but I believe it's better to know on the early stage because you can do something about it than waiting until it's too late to do anything, and you're leaving behind your family and your loved ones just because you failed to be accountable and to be responsible for your health.
Yeah, there's stats today that people are dying very young. Before it was 63, like average ceiling, 63
Age.
like average. That means less people going over 70 to bring that balance up. So a lot of people are dying on their late 30s and in their 40s or their early 50s. And that is due to
a lot of things, yeah.
Our diet, our timing, our exercise, and also the way that we look at things. It's very sad today that we are living in an island, a lot of fresh vegetables and fish, but people are dying from NCDs because of our diet. We love our meat, we love our intake of food, the timing, the wrong timing, the wrong amount of food. All these things contribute to people dying young. And imagine, even for myself, the people that we went to school together, that we born 1962, most of my classmates, they already
passed on.
So that means it's something that it's given to you. It's not yours, but it's given to you for us to look after the temple that we have, the body that we have. And there are so many people that are dying very young. And if you sit in a village Mbose, ito na Mbose ni Koros, Mbose ni Matagali ko na rin sa rangagina, na reduce ni liwe, na daw, dami dahil ko, mitso kabul, wal sa kabul.
Libre na matua.
Matua, rachi toko, so sa kapil toka. Ya, sa sibita na mitso kabul, wal sa kabul, tiyo sa kabul. e ni ko sa bo nende sartonga mo na rede toka e na vi kor non da vanua na that age group balta dava balta na no da senga ni minutes ta wa binaka na non da bula
Yeah.
pakasama taka ke binaka tuna no mo plan binaka tuna ya na ilabo finance iko ke senga ni bula balabo mo baka nga taka daga tu lago tuna no mo FNPF lago tuna mo FNPF lima sanga bulu kalima mo taureki na sasanga sa ni kila tuna binaka kinayanga ni no mo daga mo mai
Yeah.
baka nga taka kembali
Also plan your life.
plan your life, plan your
Yeah, health,
health.
life habits change.
Na dona kago na medical medical check se waka ke na daw. And the rere waka tu men da kilato tolo ke dona mati tu. Ini setu nga. Ni ngona ke sabi ang unu kina ke bali ko sa talat ko no mo na no mo munuai. Au dura wale vi doktor se tu no ko ngona ko sa karama de kino bi unu ke bali ko sini unu tu na ngono dono. Mo ka ko ni unu nga ni ko bi unu. Kako ni ko kana ngani ko kako ni ko kana ngani ko biya kana sa mo program ta kana ngauna ni no mukana program ta kana ngoni no mumuno do tu 2 liters to 3 liters
Of water.
of water na kala le bango e bebu ke sanga weekend
Yeah.
e le muna ngauna na non da kana nga ngai sure ta tu na mate balta na mate la me weekend na kanda da de nguba de ruba ke da chiloma ka ngai do me kina na mate tu ba me la ko iloma ge baka samataka o tutul turgo na kaka na lebu ndu na da intake mataka singa lebu ya kabi mataka singa lebu ya kabi ke bale inde onde o tali ni matiki weekenda na kaka na da kania ke bale na kena lebu na kena ngauna
Yeah,
kena matagali
It's good planning, just planning your meals. Sometimes we just eat for the sake of eating because we're filling up that meal time. And sometimes you have your medical issues already spoken to you by the doctor, just for you to follow. To adhere. Kaya baka kukilay ko heart problem. Stop yourself from oily stuff. Just teach yourself that I cannot eat oily stuff. And I cannot eat red meat. I cannot eat chips, fries. There are certain things you just need to train yourself that you need to go without. Because when you continue to desire these things and you continue to eat it without anybody looking, you're not doing any damage to your family. To be caught in doing that, you're doing damage to yourself. You're actually shortening your lifespan by doing that. So maybe this year, it's good for you to look within you and check, go for medical check. You can come to any hospital, whichever hospital that you're close to. Go and ask them, how do I get medical check? If you don't know how to start it. And if you have your family doctor, please do. Go and see your doctor to be checked. For us, our dentist is in Nandi. So it's been a while we haven't been to our dentist. And when we had the event in Nandi, that's when I tried to schedule everybody to go and see the dentist since we are already there. And as and when, she looked at us and then she said, you have to come more often. And I said, look, because of the kind of life we live and the busyness of life, I will need you just for you to schedule it and give me the schedule when we're supposed to be here, who's supposed to come first. So, and then we were doing that just before we flew out for our vacation with the family. And she was saying, as soon as you get in, that one needs that, that one needs that. And I said, okay. That didn't happen because when we got in, we drove straight to Suva. Those are the little things. Sometimes you plan it and then it doesn't happen. Don't just leave it there. So, and then my son's family were going down again for a family bonding time. And they were saying, oh, we are going to go and get it done now. So that looks after the 3 or the 4 of them. And now I have to look at other schedules. So what I'm saying, sometimes you plan it, it doesn't work the way you plan. And sometimes you forget it because you're so busy. But whichever way it goes, it affects your life. So you will need to find time, allocate time for you to be able to go and get this check. I believe for overseas, most of the things are done freely because they are available freely. But for Fiji, when you do that, you can either go to a health center or you go to the hospital. So those are the places that you can check out. If you have a private doctor, for us, we have Dr. Om. Thank you, Dr. Om, and your beautiful wife. I love the atmosphere, the reception. It's just good. If you have time for you people that live in Suva, pop in to Dr. Om's clinic. You wouldn't miss it if you.
A family is an epitome of God's love towards mankind. God designed us to live in families, and the Bible reveals that family relationships are important to Him.
But as a believer, do you feel that you're still struggling?
Maybe you're still struggling with your relationship,
Struggling with your finances?
struggling at work,
With your social life?
or with your spiritual life.
We invite you to join us
On our Family Table Talk every Saturday,
at 7:30 a.m. on my TV.
or catch us on our Facebook page.
Spice up your meals with FMF Chow Curry Noodles. Buy 2 5-packs for $5.